What is up, people? It is me, Monster15, and welcome back to another video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Core Class Bumblebee concept art, Decepticon Frenzy, a just very simple repaint of the concept art Rumble, and obviously these two being the pile driver cassette twins. When it comes to the Rumble review, I did a review on Rumble, so I'll leave a link in the upper right, and also leave a link there because unfortunately, one of the figures I forgot to bring out for the comparison today was the Core Class Ravage, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't feel like going all the way down into my basement where all of the display is and getting it out of the display, and so just look at the Rumble review if you want a comparison with Ravage. But taking a look at the box here, you can see some very nice artwork of what would have been Frenzy. You do have the Studio Series, the Transformers Bumblebee here, concept art, Studio Series, Transformers logo right there. Nice artwork here of Frenzy on the side. Got more nice artwork here of Frenzy on the side. And then finally, your obligatory product shots. As per usual, I think the background is just one of the many scenes on... one of the intro scene on Cybertron when it came to the Bumblebee movie, and I usually think that Hasbro kills it with the box art as per usual. So without further ado, alrighty folks, here we have the Transformers Studio Series Core Class Bumblebee movie concept art Frenzy in his cassette mode. I guess it would be the closest thing I would be able to put it as. And yeah, you might be noticing, well, where is he? Well, he's actually inside of Soundwave's chest. So we're going to take him here, going to take that, and here he is. So we're going to pull him out here. Gets in there pretty snug, just like Rumble did. Now, I will say when it comes to the quality between Rumble and Frenzy, I didn't feel any major quality differences. In addition to that, these two kind of fit in there the same, and that kind of sucks. Ended up coming apart a bit there, so give me 1 second there, folks. And there, now we got him out of there. Sorry about that, folks. Usually I'm able to get this guy out there. I mean, even I was able to get Rumble out without actually, pulling him apart. But yeah, here he is in his little, cassette mode, or what would be closest to this cassette mode. This guy, overall, there's really no major difference between this guy and Rumble besides literally the paint. Same accessories, same everything. And like I said, the quality on this guy, I don't feel really any major difference in terms of quality between this mold as well as the original one. So overall, pretty solid stuff. So you can see the black and the red instead of the blue and the yellow or the other blues. So because we're going to compare them, I'm going to bring in Rumble here. You can see the difference between them is very negligible. I mean, yeah, there's different paint detail, and obviously the paint's different, but the heads are pretty much exactly the same, although Frenzy's eyes there, as you can see, are a bit lower than Rumble's, but the exact same head sculpt. You got the Decepticon logos there on the pile drivers. Yeah, overall, these two are exactly the same. Again, exactly same accessories. So when it comes to these two, the only reason you want to get both of them is because, obviously, the advent of having both Frenzy as well as Rumble. And so when it comes to that, yeah, that's really about it for their, little cassette modes. And so what I'm going to do is do one last comparison. So we're going to get Rumble out of the way here. I'm going to move the camera down, and then we are going to set Mr. Rumble right there, or Mr. Frenzy, excuse me, right there. And here he is with a more traditional size core class figure. Here he is with Geocron. As you can see, there's a pretty significant size difference, but obviously the play factor is obviously that this guy can go into Soundwave's chest, and he fits in there perfectly okay. It's just sometimes annoying to pull him out depending on which way you actually put this guy into Soundwave's chest. But yeah, when it comes to this guy, again, pretty much the same exact thing as Rumble. I am happy with this guy. But again, it's just there for, the advent of having all of the cassettes, very similar to the G1 Soundwave. Alrighty, folks, and when it comes to this guy's transformation, like I said, the link in the upper right, also leave a link in the description as well to the original video review for Rumble. So just take a look at that if you want the transformation. It's very, very simple. And so we're going to take a little Frenzy from this in his little cassette random thing mode and into this in his robot mode. And guys, I gotta say, when it comes to his robot mode, I mean, he looks really good, right? I mean, it's concept art, right? And so this is what he would have more than likely looked like if he was actually in the movie. But at the same time, I'm really happy with, again, as I mentioned in the, I think I mentioned this in the Rumble review, it's been a minute, but I like how they were able to take, the G1 aesthetic, right? They took the core of what made the character's visual aesthetics locked in our brains all those years ago in the 80s, and they just modernized it, they made it, more realistic, but it still retains all of that, likeness of that character, so that as soon as you see this character, oh, that's Frenzy, oh, that's Rumble. And so, like, same thing with Megatron and with Sunstreaker, right? Those characters, despite looking very still different from their G1 counterparts, as soon as you see them, oh, that's Sunstreaker. And as soon as you see Megatron, oh, that would have looked, that's Megatron, right? And so with Frenzy here, it obviously is the same. And so obviously, the big thing you're going to want to definitely see is the comparison between him as well as Rumble, and so we're going to do that real quick. And so here are both of the Pile Driver boys together, and they do look really nice together. And when you're looking at these two, again, the only major difference between these two really is just the paint and the head sculpt a little bit. The head sculpt is really only different in terms of the eyes, and that's just because I think they're just painted slightly differently, and the actual sculpt is actually completely the same. And also some of the details are a little bit, changed, obviously, when it comes to the paint between Frenzy as well as Rumble, like, whether it's on the chest and stuff. The major thing that I noticed when I pulled these guys out was the crotch piece. There's all this yellow here that you have on Frenzy here, and then you only have a little bit of that here on Rumble. So that was the major point that I noted of. But when it comes to these two, they do look really, really nice together. And so if you're gonna have them on the display, I think they're absolutely gonna, they're going to look very nice together. Is what I'm trying to say. Alrighty, and like I said, for a more traditional core class comparison, here he is with Geokron. As you can see, he is half the size, but again, the play value is in the fact that he is a Soundwave cassette. Also, some of the play value is the fact that he is a part of Soundwave's minions. Would be nice to see if we could get Ratbat, Buzzsaw. It would be cool to see that. Maybe Laserbeak also be pretty cool. Just stuff like that would be nice to see. I hope we do end up getting that in the concept art for the core class series eventually for the Bumblebee movie, because I would like to add more to my Decepticon shelf for the Bumblebee movie. So yeah, that would be really cool. But yeah, again, despite the size difference, there is a reason that the size difference exists. Alrighty guys, and time to get into the articulation, and despite his small stature, he actually has quite good articulation for how small he is. So he has a ball joint, I believe, at the head, so you can do a full 360, you can kind of look up, and you can kind of look down. You can actually look up and down more sometimes than most deluxe figures. Full 360 at the shoulder, you can go out, you can go in. You do have, I don't think you have anything here, but you do have like a traditional elbow, but you do have a joint there and then a joint there, so you can do that, and obviously you can twist this around as well. You can't swivel anything like that. No waist articulation, but you can kick forward about that far, you can kick back about that far. You have a little more than 90 at the knee, and then you have a ball joint at the knee, so you can have rotation there, and no ankle rock or anything like that. Too tiny for that. But yeah, when it comes to this guy's articulation, surprisingly good despite how small he is, and I believe I echoed that in the Rumble review as well. So overall, when it comes to Frenzy here, I think they did a pretty damn good job of doing articulation for him. And so guys, the last thing to do is to get into the reverse transformation, and just like getting this guy into his robot mode, I am not going to show you the transformation, so we're going to take Frenzy from looking like this and back into this in his cassette thingy mode. And so guys, for my final and concluding thoughts on the Transformers Studio Series Core Class Bumblebee Concept Art Decepticon Frenzy, this guy is pretty solid. I mean, again, if you had Rumble, this is very much the exact same figure, just painted a bit different to look like Frenzy more than he did Rumble, obviously, when it comes to the G1 cartoon. And like I said, when it comes to the different modes, obviously the cassette thingy mode, it's not even really a cassette, is the weakest part about this figure, because the only reason it exists is so that you can fit it inside of Soundwave's chest, which it fits in perfectly okay, but the alt mode itself doesn't really have any other like usefulness or any likeness to any sort of machine or vehicle or something like that. It just kind of exists there, again, just to facilitate the ability and the play value to be able to chuck it into Soundwave's chest, which at the end of the day is cool, because that's obviously Frenzy's purpose, just like with all the other cassettes. But yeah, it is a bit disappointing when you think about it, but at the same time, that is also a con that I have of Ravage as well. The alt mode doesn't really have any other usefulness except for fitting in Soundwave's chest. But when you get this guy into his transformation, it's a core class figure. It's very simple, very easy to do, not frustrating at all. And then finally, when you get this guy into his robot mode, that's where he shines. Like I said in the review, he absolutely has this really nice, they were able to do this really nice thing where they're able to keep the likeness of the character from the original cartoon and translate it to a more modern, more realistic looking robot mode. And I think that a more modern and realistic looking design that still allows you to recognize the character as soon as you see it on screen. And so that's really cool. And then the articulation as well is actually pretty solid. And when it comes to his like guns and stuff like that, I know I didn't really show them off, but he can't really hold them. But again, they're really just meant to peg into his back and everything like that. So I apologize for that. But yeah, when it comes to Frenzy, out of a 10, I'm going to give this guy the exact same thing that I gave Rumble, which was a 7 or an 8 out of 10. And so yeah, would I recommend picking this guy up? For me, only if you're getting all the Bumblebee movie stuff. And for me, I am, and so I will recommend getting it for that reason. Or if you just want like more interesting Rumble and Frenzy, then I recommend picking these guys up. They'll look good on any shelf together, and as soon as you see them, you'll again know that they're Rumble and Frenzy if you're a Transformers fan. So that's really cool. I did pick mine up on the Big Bad Toy Store, so I'll leave a link in the description to that. I'll also leave links to Hasbro Pulse as well as Amazon if you guys would like to use those retailers instead of Big Bad Toy Store. In addition to that, if you guys are hunting this guy IRL, he should be hitting stores relatively soon, if not right now, so definitely keep your eye out, and I definitely wish you all the best of luck if you do decide to go that route and finding this guy. But with that all out of the way, I think that's really it for the video review. So I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also follow me in the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video review. I will catch you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.